It's all coming together right here now. It's all coming.
Good morning, my name is Greg Gillette. I live in Denver. I'm a nutritionist. I work in the natural health field. And I'm very concerned about the fluoride in the water. I'm very aware of toxins in the food because I teach people how to live healthy without chronic illness and disease. And from all the research I've done, I'm convinced fluoride is a toxin. And I want to share with you something I found online. The Lancet is a weekly peer-reviewed general medical journal. It is one of the world's oldest and best-known general medical journals and has been described as one of the most prestigious medical journals in the world. And in February of last year, 2014, it published a study that found fluoride is a developmental neurotoxin on par with the likes of arsenic, lead, and mercury. Also, Harvard scientists concluded that fluoride's effect on the young brain should now be a high research priority. Other reviewers have researched similar conclusions, including the prestigious National Research Council and scientists in the Neurotoxicology Division of the Environmental Protection Agency. Messed up here. Yeah, and also scientists in the Neurotoxicology Division of the Environmental Protection Agency. The human studies, which are based on IQ examinations of over 11,000 children, provide compelling evidence of fluoride exposure during the early years of life can damage the child's developing brain. Now, I've also worked with people with neurological disease, and any neurotoxin is exactly that. It damages the neurons of the cells of the nervous system, brain and nervous system. It creates scar tissue. And like I said, I've done lots of research on fluoride. I'm a nutritionist. I know tons about healing the body. And I just think there's no reason to have fluoride in the water. It's an industrial toxic waste product. And in light of these new findings, I just want to know, does the board still consider the practice of water fluoridation to be safe and effective? Well, the other question would be, have you researched and critically thought about this issue and not just blindly accepting what the CDC or the ADA says? Because to really find out an issue at heart that you're concerned with, you have to look at both sides of the issue and really critically think about it. So if you have any comments, I'd appreciate it.
Mr. Gillette, I think what we'll do is listen to your colleagues at what they have to say and respond to all the comments at one time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for your remarks and for coming in this morning.
My pleasure.
Right. Good morning, Denver Water Board and everyone else here. I appreciate all of your eye contact and your ears listening to these words we are saying. This is a very important issue we are bringing forth today. This isn't the first time. This won't be the last time either. This is something that's going on all around the nation. It's going on all around the world. Recently, Israel made news when Israel stopped the input of fluoride. This is a big issue. Lots of emotions, lots of knowledge that's out there for us to get. So it's a question of, do we want to look at the knowledge? The main chemicals used to fluoridate drinking water are known as silfluorides, silicofluorides, hydrofluorosilicate acid, and sodium fluorosilicate. Silicofluorides are not pharmaceutical-grade fluoride products. They're unprocessed industrial byproducts of the aluminum mining and the phosphate fertilizer mining industries. Since these silicofluorides undergo no purification procedures, they can contain elevated levels of arsenic, more so than any other water treatment chemical. In addition, recent research suggests that the addition of silicofluorides to water is a risk factor for elevated lead exposure, particularly among residents who live with old pipes. So these byproducts would be otherwise very difficult and costly to dispose of, and now we're just putting them into our water because in their waste form, when they come out as a phosphate or aluminum mining waste, stuff actually burns through concrete. We don't know what to do with the waste, so instead of figuring out a way, they'd actually sell it to us, and we buy the waste to put it into our water so it helps our teeth, instead of just spending money on toothbrushes for people or toothpaste or treatments for teeth. no, we're going to put in a toxic waste into the water. It just doesn't seem like a great idea. So I'm coming forward today, and these are the most important questions of the morning is, where does the fluoride that we're putting into the Denver water, where does it come from? We need to know that. Who provides it to you? So who's the intermediary, who's the seller? And how much are we spending per year as Denver, this Denver utility, how much are we spending on the input of fluoride? These are the questions we must know, because we're the ones drinking the water. Like I said, I didn't say, my name is Bruce Bauman, and I live in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, and I won't drink the Denver tap water because of what the 0.08 parts per million. I'm not going to medicate my body without consent, and so I don't consent to medication in the water, and so I won't be drinking that water until we come together a way to take out the fluoride and save ourselves some money, because I have a feeling in other counties or in other places around the world it's been anywhere from $500 to $1 million per year. So if you could answer those questions, we'd very much so appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Bell.
Hello, Water Board. My name is Taylor, and I live in Denver. I'm also concerned about the fluoride in the water for many reasons. One of the reasons is that I work with children of all ages, from infants to 18-year-olds and even some adults that do have some neurological disorders. And it concerns me because if you look at any medication, and fluoride is considered a drug and not a nutrient, so therefore I'm considering it a drug medication. If you look at any medication, the baby does not take the same dose as the 30-year-old. And in drinking water, it's all the same for everybody, and we don't have a choice whether or not we consume that, and it is alarming, especially because fluoride topically may or may not be effective. There really hasn't been many studies that prove that directly. So I personally don't use fluoride in my toothpaste, but I know some dentists recommend it. I also know no dentist recommends ingesting fluoride. That's why on the toothpaste itself it says if you swallow more than a pea size, you should call poison control. So those things really concern me because I love water. I drink a gallon of water every day. Now, unfortunately, I have to spend money on spring water or drive up to El Dorado Canyon and make sure that I'm getting fresh water. And I would much rather take that money and put it back into the city that I love and support, as opposed to feeling like, for some reason the city doesn't want to be safe. So I guess some of my questions are, do you know that of any drugs that might be safe to administer to every single human, no matter what their size or age? And I guess just why? I don't really see any logical reason why it should be in the water. If I don't have a headache, I shouldn't be forced to take Tylenol. And I'll have to say about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, good morning everyone. My name is Johnny. I'm a chef in the natural food service industry. Just want to make a couple quick points here. As far as public water fluoridation goes, again, on the same topic, the CDC fails to mention that tooth decay rates have precipitously declined in all Western countries, irrespective of whether the country ever fluoridated its water. Indeed, most Western countries do not fluoridate their water, and yet their tooth decay rates have declined at the same rate as the US and other fluoridated countries. This fact, which is widely acknowledged, can be quickly demonstrated by examining the World Health Organization's data on tooth decay trends in each country. WHO provides the most recently reported tooth decay rates in 12-year-old children in developed nations. As can be seen, many countries with no water fluoridation at all have lower rates of tooth decay than countries that fluoridate more than 60% of their water. In fact, of the 7 countries with the lowest tooth decay rates, 6 have no water fluoridation programs, while 1, England, fluoridates only about 10% of its water. To the extent that water fluoridation has a benefit on teeth, therefore it is not a discernible benefit when comparing the tooth decay rates of fluoridated versus non-fluoridated countries. Fluoride practice, water fluoridation hailed as one of the top 10 public health achievements of the 20th century, one would expect to see some detrimental effect among the countries that have opted against doing it. As this data shows, however, no such negative effect can be found. Most developed nations in the world have rejected fluoridation, including 97% of Western Europe. The United States, which fluoridates more than 70% of its water supplies, is an exception to this rule. According to the British Fluoridation Society, there are more people drinking artificially fluoridated water in the United States than all other countries combined. Make a second point if I still have some time here. All water treatment chemicals, with the exception of fluoride, are added to make drinking water safe and pleasant to consume. Fluoride is the only chemical added to treat people who consume the water rather than the water itself. Fluoridating water supplies can thus fairly be described as a form of mass medication, which is why most European countries have rejected the practice. The FDA accepts that fluoride is a drug, not a nutrient, when used to prevent disease. Fluoridation, or any practice that uses the public water supply as a vehicle to deliver medicine, violates medical ethics in several important ways. Number one, it deprives the individual of his or her right to informed consent to medication. It is approved and delivered by people without medical qualifications. It is delivered to everyone regardless of age, health, nutritional status, and without individual oversight by a doctor and without control of dose. The safety and effectiveness of fluoridated water has never been demonstrated by randomized controlled trials, the gold standard study that is now generally required before a drug can enter the market. My question to you would be, is there any other drug or medicine that is safe to administer to every single person in a given community at the same dosage? What is a safe dosage to give to small children? And if fluoridated products are available and affordable on the free market, why are we being medicated on a mass scale without express consent? Thank you.
Thank you very much. We admire your group's commitment to public health and willingness to take your time to make your opinions known. This board has formally decided that it supports the recommendations and indeed must follow the recommendations of the World Health Organization, the American Medical Association, the Centers for Disease Control, the American Dental Association, and other professional organizations on fluoridation. A very high percentage of our water is naturally fluoridated, and we add no fluoride to it. So watch out for that El Dorado Canyon water. It may be naturally fluoridated at the levels recommended by the medical experts. We very carefully monitor the levels of water, of fluoridation, and of course other impurities in the water to ensure that we comply with the highest standards of water quality. Bottom line, I believe that Denver Water will continue to follow the recommendations of these organizations and that our customers would have right to complain if we didn't. So I think your remarks would be much more effective if directed toward the AMA and the Centers for Disease Control and the like, because we are going to be following their suggestions. Mr. Gillette, you asked for information on the sources of the fluoride that we do add and the cost, and if you'll leave us with your contact information, we'll try to get that information to you following the meeting. Thank you very much. If there's nothing further.
I'd also like to thank you for coming and speaking, and also a couple of you mentioned information that seemed more current than when the last time we were together. If you could leave us copies of that with our staff so they can take a look at it and brief us on it, I just appreciate it. Things change a lot quickly, and so if there's more research and more information, I appreciate having access to that. Thank you.